All right, so here we go. It is Sunday morning, and we are here to answer your questions, your start sit questions. Joined today with Grant and Logan, and shortly Zach should be here, and maybe Hollywood will wake up because he's usually here with me every week, and I guess not this week. So how are you guys doing this morning? Are you watching the Atlanta Jets game? I mean, we had a little bit of talk there right before we went live. What's going on, and what's the scoop?
Well, let's just put it this way: the Jets suck. Um,
Mhm.
Out of 3 drives, I just told you guys they had 8 plays. One of those drives being a turnover that Zach Wilson threw. So it's not looking good for the Jets. I do wish they would keep their offense on the field so that way that my IDP guys can score some points. But
Yeah. Who got the turnover? Did you see?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Jalen Hawkins.
That's it. Yes.
Jalen Hawkins. Okay. Gotcha.
Got the pick.
So not anyone like super. I mean, in deeper leagues, you're probably maybe playing him, but it wasn't an Aluakun or a Deion Jones. So, yeah, man, well, that's frustrating. So, but yeah. So, what are you guys up to? How are you guys feeling this Sunday morning? Are there any matchups you're keying into later on? Obviously, not this Atlanta game.
Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm excited to watch the Bengals-Packers game. That should be with Jair Alexander out and the Packers not really being great defensively through the air. I'm excited to see Higgins and Chase do well today, and then see how Rodgers and Adams, respond. That'll be kind of big. So
Nice.
So, even though I'm a Browns fan, I'm kind of excited for the Browns-Chargers game. I'm not positive if Clowney's going to be in yet or not. But if he is, I think that defensive front can get to Herbert, and I think we'll have a good game on our hands.
Nice. So I got a start-sit question here for my own team. Looking at wide receiver, so I had Calvin Ridley go out, which sucks. And so I picked up off the waiver wire Laviska Shenault and Khalif Raymond. Which of those two do you trust more to have maybe a 10-point game?
I'm going to go with Shenault just because they're playing Tennessee, and Tennessee's been giving up a lot of passing yards lately.
Yeah, I'm a big Shenault guy, and he was getting targets, plenty of targets before Chark went out. But I think I saw something about his average depth of target went up from like 5 something to 13 point something with Chark going out last week. So I think he was getting 7 targets a week pretty much up until there. So if his average depth of target goes up and he's more, utilized throughout the depth of the field and everything, I'm big on Shenault. I've got him in my 20s, kind of at 28. So
Nice. That's awesome. This sounds like a good pickup. I kind of agree with you guys. Like that, he was the one I was keying in on for this week, and I actually went above that. So I tried picking up off the waiver wire and trading him to another manager that I'm actually playing this week to see if I couldn't get flip someone for some draft capital, and I ended up going with a bet. He had Julio, which I believe Julio is actually out. So the original bet was that Laviska would score more than Julio, and then it just turned into he's at 14.6 projected points. I took the line of over that he's going to score more than that, and bet a beer with my buddy on that. So, what do you think? Do you think he can go over that 14.6, or did I just essentially buy my buddy a beer?
No, you got yourself a beer, man. I think so. Laviska's gonna have himself a good game today.
Yeah, awesome. So for everyone out there listening, watching the show, make sure send your start sit questions. We're here to answer them and get things rolling. Let's see what's in the subscriber chat, because that's always an active one on Sunday mornings.
I was in there
Here we go.
answering some earlier. It's
Nice,
fun.
good stuff. Ashton Davis, Anthony Harris, or Rodney McLeod this week?
I saw that one. I said Harris for sure. I'm looking where they're at, where I have them though.
Could you say that one more time, Nate? You kind of went
Sorry.
quiet on my side.
Ashton Davis, Anthony Harris, or Rodney McLeod?
Yeah, I've got Anthony Harris there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean that way as well. Just trying to look at the numbers as when you guys are saying these as they come up.
Well, I'm pretty sure Ashton Davis on the Jets, so that if he played him, or if he played him or not, he's already made that decision.
He's awake.
Hey,
Ugh. I hate everybody.
Yeah,
Oh,
you look how I'm feeling.
ooh. That's pretty
Rough.
rough. It's very rough. Because I'm telling you, it's a good thing we ended last night, because it went way downhill after
That's
we
hilarious.
left.
hey guys, I gotta take this call real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So, Hollywood, how are you feeling after what'd you do? Did you keep slamming them last night? You get into the peach
Yeah, I destroyed
liquor back there?
Yeah, Peach Crown. Yeah, I destroyed it. I was watching the Fury and Wilder fight, so
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah. So what do you got? You got any start sits for us today? Hollywood, any questions in your sphere to
Well, I'm definitely setting me, that's for sure.
Yeah, it seems well, now you were a late start. But you did start.
Still trying to get my stuff together here. I'm trying to think. I can't even think. Give me a second. I'll tell you.
Yeah. How about this one? Mixon versus Green Bay or Gibson versus New Orleans?
I said Gibson there. I know Gibson was questionable too, but he was questionable last week, and he said he didn't have pain or anything, and didn't seem to be limited. But they said Mixon should be, and like I was saying earlier, I think that's kind of going to be a passing game.
Yeah.
So I'm going Gibson there.
Nice. But yeah, for everyone out there watching, get your start sit questions in. We're gonna answer them one at a time. Pull them up on the screen here, and roll. So
make sure you take Alexander. So you're Alexander out of your lineups if you play corners. He's out, maybe out for the year.
Oh, really? I didn't see that out for the year part.
Yeah, I saw it as I was jumping on. I saw somebody tweeted they're waiting on word to see if it's season ending, so it must be pretty bad.
Gotcha. Let's see.
That's gonna hurt. Big time.
Yep.
Big time.
Huh.
Here, I've got one we can throw out there for my personal half PPR. Damien Harris, Allen Robinson, or Brandon Ayuk. I had Woods and Stafford go already, so in a decent spot for sure. Nothing crazy, not bad. So, I've been thinking Harris all week until their whole line is out, so that's kind of making me reconsider is all. And the half PPR makes me not really want to play Robinson because he's not getting the stockpile of receptions. So, what do you think? Or you think Ayuk now that Kittle's out? I don't know. He's just a question mark.
You got to think Harris is going to get a ton of touches, though.
You think so? I hope so. That's what I'm rolling with as of now. I'm just, yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one there.
It's hard to say. I think I asked somebody and they said I can't get myself to say start a New England running back over Allen Robinson. It just makes me want to throw up.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh.
What's going on, Zach?
Hey, sorry about that.
No problem at all. All right, we got the full crew here.
Don't you be late again, Zach. We run promptly on time here, pal.
Hollywood doesn't sleep in on Sunday mornings and not answer my texts.
No, that never happens.
He's giving you shit because he just showed up too.
Yeah,
But,
I saw
all right.
saw you searching for him.
Yeah. That was just one message. I sent him a bunch of DMs too. Yeah, so for everyone out there, make sure you are sending in your start sit questions and see if there's any more subscriber questions to go over here. All right, start sit IDP spot. Pick one: Brian Burns, Joe Schobert, Baker, or Jamin Davis. Jay Baker.
Jerome Baker, probably.
Jerome Baker. Okay, yep. Or Jamin Davis. What do you guys say? Pick one.
Now, who was they again now? Baker, Davis, and who?
Schobert and Burns.
I'd start Schobert and Burns.
Brown had a pretty good year.
It's one though, right?
Yeah, it looks like just one.
Oh, just one. Sorry. I'll probably go Schobert, I guess.
If you're only one, if it's one, I have to go linebacker, so probably Schobert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes sense. Unless you get some kind of crazy points for sacks, then you might go with Burns. But
so do you like Joey Bosa this week against a banged up Baker Mayfield, or Chase Young against a top 5 Saints O-line?
Bosa.
Yeah, Bosa.
Both of my top 10, but Bosa higher.
So that's a tough question because I don't think the Browns are going to be throwing the ball much. So sack-wise, I don't know if he's getting that many points because we're going to be a really run-heavy offense, especially today if Baker's shoulder is not up to par.
Mm-hmm.
True. But the Saints O-line has been, man, they've been lights out this year. That's a tough hill to climb.
Yeah. And Young hasn't exactly been electrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been Montez Sweat who's really done all the damage for them. So, and I'm not sure why Young's not getting back there like he should. But I mean, he's making some plays. The sacks haven't been there for him. So I think I would go.
Do you think that he's getting?
Yeah.
Is he getting double teamed? Is he getting kind of like pushed out of the play, and that's opening the other side of the line, kind of like what we saw with Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram back in the Chargers back in the day, where they were a 1-2 punch because they'd kind of lean heavy on Bosa, and that would open up Ingram on the other side of the line. You think that's happening?
I mean, I would assume that the teams are focusing more on Young. I mean, you got to see that Jonathan had a huge year. So teams are focusing more on Young, and that's why you're seeing the guys that aren't Chase Young putting up.
Yeah, getting good numbers right now.
The Aaron Donald effect.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right. Jamin Davis or Azeez Ojulari?
Jamin Davis.
Who's the Giants got today?
Is it Dallas?
Giants play Dallas, yeah.
Oh, it is Dallas. Dallas, yep.
And Washington's got the Saints. Bostic is out, so Jamin Davis, it should be having a bigger role.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
I would go Davis. I do like Azeez Ojulari though. He's been
solid.
a perfect fit for the Giants. Yeah,
I think he's had a sack every game, except maybe not last week, but he had one the first 3 games each.
Yep, he's exactly their type of player.
Yeah, he's been very good.
Well.
So
Yep.
Azeez is your safe play, and Jamin's your high upside play because he's moving into a higher role. So he should be fine. But Azeez is he's been solid. He's been good. So
yeah,
Nice.
nothing wrong with him.
I think Davis is going to see a lot of tackle opportunities with Kamara.
Yeah, especially if Bostic's out too. He's going to see it too.
I think Bostic went to the IR. Is what I saw.
Oh,
Yep.
So the rest of the season, he's going to have a big role then. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, if you want to wait and see, maybe
Yeah,
Azeez
Bostic
is
had a
not
torn
bad play.
pectoral.
And then you'll probably roll Jamin the rest of the year if he starts to have a good game or some good games. So
Nice. Let's see. We just got a question popped up in the subscriber chat. Damien Harris, Tony Pollard, Miles Sanders, Trey Sermon. He has Zeke as his RB1. Who are you starting?
Who was the first guy again?
Damien Harris.
I'm starting, and Harris is. Yeah, I think I might start Harris. Did they play Houston? Does New England play Houston?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might go with Harris.
Yeah, maybe.
Pollard just hasn't been getting the targets
I don't.
and
Yeah,
the opportunity now that Zeke's been going off.
Yep.
depends if it's PPR or not too. Kind of. I assume it is probably, but it's hard. It's hard to play Sanders right now. It's hard to trust him.
Yeah.
And then Mitchell should be back, so you kind of.
and it's hard to trust any of the 49ers.
Exactly. I'm going Harris too. I think I'm going Harris.
Yeah, I was thinking Sanders, but I think I'd go Harris too because he's last couple of weeks he's just not been doing it. And is it Gainwell that's been the one stepping up the last couple of games? I mean, he's been the star for him out of the backfield. So yeah, I think I'd go Harris. I guess, especially with them playing Houston because, that's horrible. That team is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wouldn't start Pollard and Zeke. Both of those. That's just, regardless, like being on the same team, like you're just one's eating into the other. So, yeah, I like Harris there.
Yeah, if it was a quarterback, running back, or receiver,
right, that's different.
I wouldn't mind it as much. But 2 running backs, no way.
Yeah, or like a buddy of mine, he took all of the wide receiver options in Tampa Bay and was starting like 3 or 4 guys on Tampa, and I was just like, man, what are you doing? He's hurting now. He's hurting now.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyone out there, send us your start sit questions. We will answer them. Grant, you got any start sit questions? What are you thinking about today? What are your back and forth on questions?
So this week because CMC's out, I didn't really have any questions because my lineup's pretty much set from last week.
Nice.
So that's one nice thing about having CMC out. But my big thing is when CMC comes back, what do I do with Patterson? What do I do with Swift? And what do I do with Godwin? Because one of these running backs might go into my flex where Godwin is.
Gotcha. So you're talking.
I'm sorry, but
rest of
Kadil
season.
Patterson has been so good for fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's not only getting the handoffs, he's also getting the targets to the air as well, which is huge.
That was so random. I apologize for that.
No, you're good.
No, he's been a hot topic the last couple of weeks. Everybody's zoned in on him. They're wanting to know, and I've hopefully got an article coming out.
I think he's got to be a started
So,
every week right now.
until further
Yeah.
notice.
Yeah,
well, the
so-
one that triggered me is they were like,
Mhm.
"Would you play him as a flex option?" And I was like, "Absolutely, play him as a flex option." You know, I mean,
Mhm.
like
Even
I said,
RB2.
he's getting the carries and he's getting even more receiving opportunities now. I mean, they don't have much behind him. Mike Davis is basically their best back, and I'm not crazy about him. So I could, just to kind of touch it on the article a second, if you didn't know the name or know the team, and I said I will give you a player that can get you 1,000 yards. I mean, almost right on the money, 500 rushing yards, and give you 10 touchdowns. And you can play him running back or receiver. You'd take it all day long and never question it.
Yeah.
And that's the paces
Yep.
he's on right now, is 1,510. Well, the touchdowns are a little more. I dialed them back because
So you're telling me you're
he's not
writing
score 20, but
your article?
I can't hear whoever it is. Somebody's breaking up.
I think it's Z-Bags. You kind of broke up there halfway through your sentence.
He asked if you're writing an article on.
Yeah. I was trying to get it out this weekend, but I didn't get it done in time. So hopefully it'll be the start of this coming week.
Crazy.
All right,
Cool.
we got a question from Joe E. Von Bell or Jordan Poyer?
If he's really fully ready to go, I'm going Poyer.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going Poyer if he's healthy and playing. I'm always going Poyer over Bell.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Good stuff. All right. So anyone out there, just send your start sit questions. We're here to answer them. I really like the talk on Cordero Patterson. It really seems like he has found the team that will use him in the situation that he needs. Like, he's kind of always been this kind of position, but no one's ever utilized it. And now
I've never committed to it has been the problem.
Yeah. And now, a team is doing it and he's looking good. I don't know in real football sense though, has this been the Falcons haven't looked that great. So this isn't really something that's gonna, I don't know. Not that it won't finish. They won't keep doing this year, but like going forward into next year, does he end up losing this spot? Is it worth, say, trading for this guy in a dynasty format if you're only really going to get this production this year?
It's hard to say. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, looking kind of back at his whole career, the receiving has kind of been there like this. Some years have been down, but some of his better years in Minnesota, he put up about the kind of numbers he is now, a little bit, maybe a little less. He's in that range, but it's been the rushing numbers. Teams, Belichick and New England kind of started it with this full-time role, and they did it last year a little bit in Chicago, but neither one of them wanted to commit full-time to letting him run the ball like they are in Atlanta. So if Atlanta will continue to give him the carries, then I think so. I think he's, 800 to 1,000-yard receiver, and if they'll give him the carries, he can get you 500.
Yeah, and
So
I was going to say
He's
outside
got
of Ridley
return opportunities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then outside of Ridley and Pitts, he is their go-to guy on the receiving end. I think he's a better back than Mike Davis. So
I do too.
he is definitely their go-to player when you need a play.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's interesting. So you think that they might be able to say like, hey, we're going to build around this and maybe create a system that involves this? He could be relevant for, I don't know how long, a year or two until, there's only some in those positions like running backs have a pretty steep cliff. So, I don't know. Like, what do you think of the longevity here?
I think he'll be good another year or two until the Falcons start to go out and get the players they need. They just got bigger holes to fill other than a receiver or a running back. You got two decent running backs in him and Davis. You got a good receiver and an up and coming tight end. So I think he's there for another year or two.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think Atlanta should be more worried about their defense than anything right now.
Yeah. Like Grant said, they've got a ton of holes they've got to fill. So even if they go draft a running back and they get a really good one, I still think you're a year or so away, because we've seen running backs come in and kind of struggle. So, I think he's, like Grant said, another year or two. Yeah, I can see it happening.
Gotcha.
But he's always going to be there as a wide receiver, in my opinion. So he might be a hold. Definitely one to hold on to.
Gotcha. Okay, nice. Question in the subscriber chat. Joe G has a spot to add at linebacker. Is Tay Crowder worth an ad?
Joe G.
Tay Crowder.
Yes.
If you got a spot, I think so.
Yeah.
He's playing there over.
Especially if you're just. Yep. I know some people think Reggie Ragland's might be interfering with a lot of production that Crowder can provide, but I wouldn't be too worried about. Ragland is he's pretty poor at pass coverage, so eventually, coaching staff is going to be like, okay, we can't have him, being in there when he's going to be causing issues in a priority passing NFL game. So, I think Crowder would be fine, worth holding on your roster. And, he should give his floor weekly right now.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. So anyone out there want to submit a start sit question, just comment it wherever you're coming from, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We're streaming on all these platforms, looking to answer your questions. So send them in, and let's see. Logan, you've got our rankings. You do our weekly rankings. Anyone jump up your rankings this week, like that you just saw a matchup and you were like, oh man, this is just a great matchup for this player, and you boosted them maybe from outside, the top 10 into the top 10? Any movement like that this week?
Yeah, let me see. One that's pretty obvious. Sam Darnold's just been moving up very quickly up my rankings, and he's almost a weekly start. But he was down in the 20s, and now he's sitting in that top 13-ish, 10 range. So I had Darrell Henderson moved up into the top 10 this week, or into the RB1 range, from normally being like a middle RB2.
Yeah, he looked good the other night.
And he looked good. So I'm in on that. AJ Brown, I've got back up in the top 10, hoping he has a big explosive week this week against the Jags. Jamar Chase quickly moved up over T. Higgins. I had T. Higgins higher to start the season, and obviously he went down and he was getting targets. But I think while he was gone, Jamar Chase has kind of turned himself into the one there. So I've got Chase overtaking Higgins more as of late. Dawson Knox is shooting up. I've got him pretty high this week against the Chiefs. Tight ends.
Oh, yeah.
He's someone who worked his way up pretty quick to a touchdown dependent kind of guy for a week or two, and then I think he's going to be one of Josh Allen's top targets.
Nice.
As I said, there's a guy or so for each.
I got
position.
Marquis Brown. Should be up some people's rankings too. He's leaving with a touchdown in pretty much almost every game he's been playing in since even late last year. I think he's had one game where he didn't score. So
nice. John, Johnny the Greek just texted me a start sit question. It's a coaching slot start. Would you take Urban Meyer or Matt Nagy? I don't know if this is a joke or not.
What? That's not even fair. That's not even
It's not the
fair.
worst possible question.
And I think so.
He knows
We've
I hate Matt
played.
Nagy too. He knows I hate
Yeah,
him.
yeah. I think that's what this is about. But so generally, from what I understand in coaching slot, because this is a real thing, we've played it. Johnny and I are actually really wishing MFL and some of those leagues sites would bring it in because it's an ESPN option. But it's you get a win. I think you get points for winning challenges and not getting blown out. It's kind of like your DST slot a little bit. But who do you think is the better coach this week? Urban Meyer or Matt Nagy? And we're going to start with Z-Max because I'm sure he's got some Matt Nagy opinions.
Well, I can only imagine that if they had a coaching slot, I think slots for in the other formats like MFL and all that, that Coach Nagy's or Matt Nagy's biggest challenge would be taking the blame for something. But gosh, I mean, you got to hand it to Urban Meyer somehow being so sly that he could still keep his job after the videos that went around this past week of him. But yeah, I really am gonna hate myself for saying it, but the better NFL coach right now has got to be Matt Nagy, just because he somehow has gotten the Bears to the playoff the past 2 seasons. But yeah, I'm not happy about saying that. But yeah, I guess I'd have to leave with Matt Nagy just because he has more NFL experience right now.
Well, you mentioned
all he has going for him right now.
You mentioned that
That is
Nagy,
all he has.
Hey, real quick, Dalvin Cook might be out. He was trying to work out before the game, and he has left the field with his ankle injury.
Wow.
So how does that affect lineups?
If you got a good option, I'm sitting him. Then
Yeah.
Are you starting
Yeah.
Madison? I mean, if you're a Dalvin Cook owner and you know the history of Dalvin Cook, you're rostering Alexander Madison. Are you starting him?
I'm starting him over Miles Sanders, but not quite over like Damien Harris. Maybe in that Damien Harris range. Damian Williams, Chuba. Maybe a little higher than them, maybe. But you're in a question with them. But I wouldn't start him over anyone like
Chubbard.
Yeah, I wouldn't start him over like Hunt or Edmonds or Clyde, nothing like that.
Gotcha.
But maybe right on the cusp, right behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just got a text asking Joe Mixon or Chase Edmonds.
Ooh.
Edmonds, but I don't think Mixon's going to have a huge workload this week, from what I've been reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edmonds is a good enough play that you can sit Mixon. Yeah, I think Mixon will probably be limited, and it's going to be a passing game. I think it should be pretty heavily air involved. So
Yeah, I have to start Mixon. You can start him, but that choice of Edmonds and Mixon, I'm going Edmonds this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely see it. I'm looking at one of my leagues. How are you guys doing on injuries this year? I'm pretty sure right now my bench in this one league has 2 uninjured players.
In one of my paid leagues, I have Julio Jones, David Montgomery, Tua, Jerry Jeudy, Jarvis Landry, and that's one of my paid home leagues. So and I don't want to drop any of them, and the commissioner doesn't have IR unless the players are COVID. So I'm pretty much like fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only have 2. One big injury that really hurt me was CMC going down on that Thursday night game, and then Gronk as well. But I got Noah Fant, so I can put in his place while Gronk's out.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Nice.
this league I'm looking at has 2 IR slots, but just listen to all these guys. I got DJ Chark, I got Jarvis Landry, Antoine Winfield, Quiddy Pie, J.C. Horn, Blake Martinez, Zadarius Smith, and now Jair Alexander.
Wow.
It's like your whole starting defense.
Yeah. So I've got Jordan Poyer, who has been on, like, he has been out a couple weeks, but now isn't. And then the only other guy I got is Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's my entire bench. It is crazy. And I don't know. I don't feel like this year has been that much more than previous years with injured players. I just feel like I just happen to have every single one of them.
I feel like there's a lot of defensive players getting hurt, kind of. There has been a lot of defensive players. It seems a little more than normal. At least it kind of stands out to me.
Yeah. All right.
Agreed.
All the young, good corners are getting hurt.
Yeah. But all right. So we're gonna keep this going for another 20 minutes. If you have any questions, please send them our way. We will answer start-sit questions. I wonder, with the game starting at 9:30 today, do you think people just have their lineups already set? We seem to be a little bit lower on the questions,
Probably.
even in the subscriber chat. Like, are people just not wrestling with those decisions because they were doing it last night?
I would have had mine set last night, just because. Is there a chance that I don't wake up and I don't have somebody in or out and it gets locked that way?
Right.
So I definitely would have had mine set last night.
Yeah. I mean, the way I looked at it is like, sure, if you have an Atlanta or a Jet player, you're going to be, making that decision. But the main slate's still at 1:00. So here we go. Scott Temple, he asks, Cooper or Jacobs PPR?
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper, Josh.
Amari
Jacobs.
Cooper,
This must
yeah.
be for a flex.
I'm going to Amari Cooper for sure there.
Yeah, I need to see something out of Jacobs. I think I'd go Cooper as well.
Cool. Joe E. Jalen Smith to Green Bay. Positive or negative situation for him? What do you guys think?
Positive in the sense that Parsons was going to take his role anyways.
Right.
He should be.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got Devondre Campbell, but I think that he can play with another linebacker. We've seen him do it with LVE, so I don't think that's going to hurt him. So I think the right answer is this helps Green Bay more than anything because they definitely needed this.
Yeah. I don't, honestly, though, I'm going to throw out, I don't see how this helps Jalen at all. I mean, Green Bay doesn't use 2 linebacker sets very often. They do use them, but there's a reason Campbell has so well because he's mainly the main guy. And maybe they moved to a 2 linebacker set because of everything that's happened with Zadarius Smith. So maybe they want a more athletic guy on the field. But yeah, I mean, Smith at the same spot he was in with Dallas right now, and then gauge what you see. I don't think you're going to see much out of Jalen Smith this week. Take a look at him next week. If he scores well, maybe start throwing him in your lineups again.
Gotcha. Right. Definite wait and see moment there. Yeah. Absolutely. Who does this displace? Who do you think comes off the field because of Jalen Smith?
Chris Barnes.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing a lot of. Okay. Yeah. So we got another question here off Facebook. A little bit confusing here, Malcolm. He says Cook is out. Pick 2, Madison or John Taylor. You only have 2 there, so there must be a third option. Or
yeah, if you're picking one, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. So Malcolm, if you can hit us back with that third option, we can give you a good answer. But until then, just start both of those guys if you need to.
Absolutely.
Oh, Gibson. There it is. Madison, Taylor.
I'm going Madison and Taylor.
I think
Okay.
Gibson's questionable. Is he a game time decision?
No, I think he's already
so.
played in play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
He's
okay.
playing.
Okay. That's tough for me. See, I'm
Gibson
just not a Madison believer.
I'm still going Madison Taylor.
Man, I think I go Gibson and Taylor. I'm just not
The
a big
Vikings
believer in Madison.
Vikings are playing Detroit though.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing Gibson against that Saints defense.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I think that, you're Jonathan Taylor for sure. And then Gibson is where I have Madison like kind of slotting in right behind Kareem. I have Gibson, Kareem Hunt, Edmonds. Like I was saying earlier, you'd be right on the cusp with Madison. And with Gibson having that tough matchup, Madison's right there. So you could lean Madison a little safer. But I think Gibson's still got that big playability. It's hard to sit him. So Jonathan Taylor for sure. And then
McCaffrey's out.
Yep.
Sorry.
you're good.
So to kind of touch on Patterson again for a minute, 9 carries, 45 yards, 4 catches, 46 yards, and they've let him throw a pass in this game. So now he really is doing it all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you.
hurt though.
I don't know if you saw the pass. It was a blown play. There was no receivers running out to the area that he was supposed to be throwing it to. So he just kind of got strung out.
That's too bad he didn't complete that. That would have been amazing.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
There's a big topic going on right now. What do you do with Russell Wilson?
Hold.
Yeah.
Got to. Because you're not going to get value for him right now.
Yep.
Plus,
Yeah.
he could be on a new team next year.
Could be.
I think you hold if you've got him on your teams. Now, of course, if you're trying to get him, now's the time because his value is going to be low. But, and I guess to piggyback off that, I would, if I could get him at a good price, not saying just completely lowball whoever has him, but if somebody wanted to sell him and they made it a fair offer, I would take him if I needed a quarterback for sure.
What would you consider a fair offer at this point? Something that's not completely, just tanking his value, but obviously there are some questions out there.
Yeah, where would we have his value before the injury? Because I've not really looked at trying to trade or get him.
I mean, he's one of the top. He was at least one of the top options in the offseason where, you're getting him within that rushing quarterback group in the,
Right.
top 5 QBs. Probably around, what would you say, Dak Prescott area? Like maybe before or after him? Maybe before.
Yeah, I guess you could kind of.
Quincy Williams had 2 fumbles today. 2 fumbles.
2 forced fumbles?
I'm so bouncing around. Yeah, 2 forced fumbles.
Nice.
Yeah, he just punched one out of Mike Davis just like a minute ago.
Well, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm not real sure on because I don't know what his value was, what people were giving up or asking for him to begin with. Because most of the leagues, I either have him or don't need him. Grant, I mean, what are you thinking as far as would be his value before the injury? Because that kind of can tell me what I would give now.
Logan, where did you have him?
You're talking Dynasty, right? Or is this Dynasty, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
As a Dynasty quarterback, yeah, I think I have him like right after Dak at like 6 or so. After the Allen, Murray, Mahomes, Jackson, Prescott, and then Wilson right there. You're looking at him with like kind of right by Herbert. Top 6, 7 guy.
So, okay, to utilize one of our partners here, Dynasty Trade Calculator, which we supply some values for IDP and our ADP and everything there. We actually control the values this would be Superflex. Well, so in standard Russell Wilson, and I don't know if this is adjusted. They have him equal to less than a first right now. In Superflex, he's about two firsts, too early 2022 first. And so I feel like that is pre-injury.
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
so my thinking, and this was before I looked it up, my thinking was like a first plus a player that would be like not necessarily like a third rounder. A player worth about a third rounder, in my opinion. What do you guys think on that? Who would that be?
If you're looking at draft picks, I don't know that a first and a third. I'm not saying your player. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. If you offered a first and a third, I don't know that fantasy managers would take that.
Yeah, I would almost hold on to Wilson.
If you could get him for a first and a third, then I think you would make that deal if you're trying to get him. I'm just trying to. I don't know.
As a Russell owner, I would almost hold on to Russell instead, because I still feel like he's way more productive than a third rounder, and he's still, as of now, I mean, he's still a high first round pick.
I guess if you wanted to do a first and kick a player back, maybe a quarterback. I guess it depends on what quarterbacks you have.
So what do you say, like a Sam Darnold plus a first could equal a Russ? If you had Sam Darnold.
If I felt strongly enough about Darnold, and right now I do, I'd probably take that.
I think you're in the ballpark.
That'd be close, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, definitely.
I mean, what's tough is we can't see the future of where he's playing next year.
Right. Well, and that's where a little bit of the volatility, a little bit of the projection of, is he going to stay in Seattle? Is this injury going to be nagging? Those type of things. I mean, I guess the finger injury is a lot less worrisome than, say if he tore an ACL or did something that would cut him back from being able to run as much as he does. So he still maintains that value. I think if you can upgrade your quarterback and maybe that team that has Russell Wilson is looking for a playoff run, you might be able to make that move and upgrade your Sam Darnold for into a Russell Wilson. So,
yeah.
And I think Darnold's finding himself in Carolina.
Yeah.
He must have just needed to get away from New York. And after watching today's game, I feel like it's the same for Zach Wilson. Because
he's struggling today.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Doesn't look confident.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to take one. This is going to be a final call. Final call for any questions out there. If you have start sits that you're thinking about, we're here to answer them. But we got about 10 minutes here. Let's go around the room real quick. Do the usual, where people can find you, what you got going on right now, and then we'll end if there's any question that pops up. We'll go out on that. So let's start off with Z-Mags here. Mags, awesome to have you. This is back-to-back shows now. You are, a functioning member of society again. Now that you're moving to the day shift, this is great. So just let everyone know what projects you're working on and where they can find you.
Well, if you guys have any questions, I'm always available on Twitter. I will be awake in the daytime now, so hopefully you won't have to wait till 2-3 o'clock for me to reply to you guys. You can find get at me on Twitter at ZMagsIDP there. You can find all my articles and my rankings at IDPs. Would be great if anybody who isn't a subscriber, hop in, subscribe. Again, our Slack chat, tons of great offers for anyone who is just looking for a little help to win their fantasy league. And I think the main thing I'm going to be planning on working on this week is a little, probably a series I'm actually going to continue through the rest of the season. It's going to be just like a thing called IDP surprises. Just players that we weren't expecting to be prominent in fantasy that are showing out and deserve a little bit of the limelight.
Nice. That's an awesome series. Looking forward to that for sure. Logan, let's go on to you. Where can people find you? What are you doing? What kind of content are you putting out?
Yeah, my Twitter handle is @SportsTalkSmart. I do the rankings and stuff, so you can get I've got dynasty rankings, redraft rankings for rest of season. I've got weekly rankings for every position down to defensive linemen, linebackers, and defensive backs even. Like I'll split down into like the 60s or so. I'm always in the Slack chat answering questions, sit starts, trade questions, ad drops. I don't really release as much like articles as anybody, but yeah, you can find me on Twitter, send me messages at me, and I'm always available to answer. I'm pretty much the like I said, answering sit starts, trades. I like helping with trades, dynasty, super flex, one quarterback, deep IDP, doesn't matter, anything like that. Hit me with your questions.
Awesome. Good stuff. Grant, on to you. Where can people find you? What are you doing? I mean, you have a sweet dog video up on your Twitter right now.
Yeah, so make sure you go check that out. You can find me at Grant_Gillan. That's GILLILAN. I know there's too many I's and L's. But pretty much what I'm doing with the IDP guys is I'm working behind the scenes doing video editing. And so you'll find that kind of stuff up on our TikTok at IDP guys, on YouTube at IDP Guys Network. You'll find it in Facebook. So if you see videos going up, that's me.
Nice. Awesome. Hollywood, what about you? Outside of sleeping in, when you got videos to record, what do you got going on? Where can people find you?
Of course, they find me at IDP Guys, all my writings, rankings, in the chats, like everybody else has mentioned. IDP Nation, Davey IDP Grind. I'm here with you every Sunday morning. Saturday nights, we do the lounge.
Yep.
I'm pretty easy to find. You can find me at Hollywood Titan on Twitter, Facebook groups, Reddit. Now, I'm basically everywhere. It's not too hard to find me. I'm always glad to help. I get tons of questions on the day in my DMs, should I start this? What do I think about this? So it might take me a few minutes, but I answer every one of them. So, yeah,
Very good.
Feel free to hit me up.
Good stuff. All right, so we got a question from Malcolm Merriweather off of Facebook to go out on. Cousins or Danny Dimes?
Ooh. Is it 6-point passing touchdowns? I'm gonna go Cousins. I have them 2 spots higher. I have Cousins at 12 and Daniel Jones at 14. They're both right on that back end RB1 or QB1. I'm going Cousins. With Cook out, they'll probably throw a little more. I know they like to lean on Madison, but it might change it up into a little bit more of a passing game. So I'm gonna go Cousins by just a tad.
I'm going Danny Dimes on this one just because of the matchup they got with the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys tend to give up the big passing plays, and that's Danny Dimes' thing this year. So I'm going Danny Dimes.
Yeah, when he can
I think
zero
Danny
in.
Dimes too, because he's a little bit higher upside as far as rushing the ball too. So
Yeah.
it's
What do you
close,
think
but I
there?
think I'd go. Dimes.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Cousins. Yeah, I'm going Cousins.
How many picks does Danny Dimes throw this week? Because he can throw it deep and down the field, but he's got a wide range when it comes down. Not
Deep
always
this year,
in the hands.
actually.
Yeah. Mags, I think you're breaking up a little bit, but
Yeah.
all right, yeah. So it looks like we're split between Cousins and Danny Dimes. I'll be the tiebreaker here, and I'll go Cousins just because I got a feeling that Danny Dimes is going to be able to throw it and everything, but I think he's also going to throw it to the other team a few times. So
I think there's another reason that you're choosing Kirk Cousins, and you just don't want to say it.
Yes.
Oh, because the Detroit Lions
Who's
suck?
Kirk Cousins playing against today, Nate?
Yeah, no, that's an even better reason. And, the Lions are terrible this year, and yeah, they're going to be able to throw all over them. So I wouldn't even doubt Cousins gets some rushing yards himself. So yeah, that's another good point there. So, but here it is. We've done an hour. We've answered some questions, and we've talked some topics in fantasy football. So thanks everyone for joining. Thanks you guys to coming on the show, and for everyone out there listening in, watching. I hope we got all of your questions sorted out, and find us every week here 11 a.m. on Sunday mornings for Start Sits, and look for our other shows on this network. Make sure to go to YouTube and check out IDP Guys Network. We have a ton of great content there between long form shows, Grant putting together the shorts from the team, DFS content, betting. We got offense, defense, all of that stuff. So it's been great just kind of building up this YouTube network and seeing things go. And a lot of that content, the longer form stuff, you can find on audio. Go to IDP Guys Network on any podcatcher, and you'll find all the shows that come through our feed, and great information for your weekly fantasy football starts and everything. So with that, we're going to sign off for today. We've got our own lineups to start and get ready for 1 o'clock. So catch you guys next week.